Hi friends, this is Mahesh Gulani back again, and today the subject is very interesting. Some people may like it, some people may not like it, but all the same, I am going to do this. The subject today is sologamy, aka self marriage. In Hindi, you would say स्वयं विवाह, यानी कि खुद से विवाह. Yes, guys, this is my subject today. It is a very current subject, latest subject, but not talked about because at times it sounds funny. Most of the time, you would think not possible, but I can guarantee you, if at the end of this video, if you don't believe me, let me tell you, this is the year 2022 almost coming to an end, but by 2040, my this presentation on YouTube would look very current, and it will be a kind of a modus operandi, the way of life then. Right. Now, what is this sologamy? Sologamy is the act of marrying oneself, and also in a public ceremony. You announce it to the public. Such a marriage has no legal sanction or status as of today. The ceremony, the symbolic ceremony, is used by many as an act to emphasize their self love and independence. Now, many of you may be wondering that we've never heard this sologamy, or even we've heard, but we didn't think that is possible. Well, there are so many things in the world which you don't think is possible, but they are happening. And today's the very fast moving world where things are happening so fast that this is possible. And a person like me saying this, all the more, it lends a lot of credence to the subject. Now, see, in today's world, as of today, divorces have become very common. When I say very common, is that you almost hear every third marriage is ending in a divorce. I'm talking about the cities, not the villages, because there are two things in India, which is one is India and one is Bharat. I'm talking about India because since I'm talking to you in English, English is spoken in India, not Bharat. भारत में तो वहाँ मुझे हिंदी बोलनी पड़ेगी. मैं हिंदी भी करता हूँ, लेकिन ये सब्जेक्ट बहुत सिटी बेस्ड है. सो देयरफॉर दिस आई एम एड्रेसिंग पीपल the 100 cities in India. Now, the first case of sologamy came in 1993 when Linda Baker, a dental hygienist from the US, married herself in front of 75 guests that she had called. Now, when I talked about divorce being very common and and unhappiness also being part of the marriages today, then when Linda Baker, that why did you do this? Why did you take a step like this? Which then in 1993 was breaking news. She said, "Look, enough of me living for my partner, enough of me sacrificing, enough of me thinking that happiness is not within myself, but happiness is sharing. No, I beg to differ. I want happiness within me. I want to be happy within me. And why do I have to solemnize a marriage and show to the world that I'm married and then also have children? If that is the way the life is, I'd rather not marry and go into sologamy, which is I'll marry myself." Now, in the United States, there are many states who are recognizing sologamy, but then, of course, again, by 2020, there was no legal status in most of the countries of the world. Maybe I don't know of any country was legalized this. Since it's not become the currency in the world, like cryptocurrency, that sologamy is the way of life today. It's still not totally accepted, but slowly and steadily, it is gaining momentum and currency too. Now, Chris Galera, a Brazilian, very good-looking model, a woman, she married herself, which means she went into sologamy. But then in 90 days, she divorced herself out of this sologamy and married a man little older than her because she thought that I have found a partner. Now, when the man who married her was asked that how come you married a woman who was into sologamy, he said, I identify with her. I was also myself a sologamist kind of a guy. And when I talked to her and she addressed why she's not going into a marriage, I quite agreed with her. And I thought I was also into this. So we decided that why don't we live together? And we will not go into all those commitments and promises and making each other happy. And therefore, they married. I have not heard the latest about what's their marriage status. But going by what I have talked to people, is that there are more women who are wanting to go into sologamy than men. Now, I don't know the reason. Maybe the reason is that the woman has to give more in terms of marriage than a man has. And I probably, being a man myself, I can agree, because not too much of a pressure is there on a man. And I'm married with children. There's not too much of pressure on me from my partner or from my children, maybe being a man and being a bread earner. So therefore, I think it's okay with me, and maybe with all the men all over the world, so particularly in India, because in India, men think that this is a very taboo subject. They don't want to talk. And therefore, there are more women. And friends, I might tell you that in India, a 24-year-old Vadodara girl whose name was Shama Bindu, on June 11th, 2022, went into sologamy. And when asked that, why have you chosen sologamy? You're a beautiful girl. You look like a model. She says, I want to be a bride, not a wife. I want to be a bride, but I want to be independent. I want to enjoy life. And when asked that, do you think living alone in a city in Gujarat will make you happy? She says, I think I will. So, and she was very confident, and she signed off with a YouTube presentation of hers, where she encouraged other women to go into this. So now, therefore, friends, if you're asking me that, is it possible, and is it possible in India, in a society where we talk about sanskars, we talk about a certain age for marriage, and if a male is 40 and not married, people start asking, what's wrong with him? Why hasn't he got married? It's time, this age, and why wouldn't he? Now, when we now, I've met a lot of people, and I've been talking about this sologamy to people, and what do they think? Most of them don't want to talk to me, and most of them think that people, who are sologamists, who talk about sologamy, or who talk in favor of sologamy, are actually quirky or weird. Now, I don't know how much of that is true, which, of course, you would like to answer me. But if this was true, then how come that this has gained a lot of currency in the Western countries? And I would say that maybe by 2024, you will hear that the percentage of sologamy marriage, particularly, I would say, and I want to emphasize here that women are going into this. And women going into sologamy has as a very solid reason. It is to do with the socio-economic scenario that we have at these times. And it's time to think, friends who are watching me, that where are we wrong, and what should we do to correct this? If you are in favor, and please, by God's sake, talk about this, talk about sologamy. Therefore, when you talk about it, will the society come to know that where it is heading for and what it's wanting? So if in the social circuits, in the cocktail circuits, in the gated community, in clubhouses, if you're talking about sologamy instead of the war in Ukraine, or such subjects which are taboo, I would think you would come to know what does a person think, and accordingly do that. Now, I would rather not have a marriage which ends in divorce. I always say a good divorce is better than a unhealthy and toxic marriage. So if that is true, and people are going in for more divorces, then it's better that you live alone. And go into sologamy, which means, again, getting married to yourself. Now, getting married to yourself, what does it give you? A social status. It allows people to know that you are married to yourself. So therefore, you should not be asked whether are you open to a marriage or something. It can just happen. And there are marriages. When this girl Shama married in Baroda, she had given invitation cards also. So I wouldn't be surprised if in any travel agency starts a kind of a hashtag sologamist total program. Now, where they will allow you to go for a honeymoon, for a sologamy marriage. They will take you to spots which are just good for a sologamist. They will give you food which is good for a sologamist. They may suggest you hygiene and exercises and yoga, which again are peaceful and meditative for a sologamist. And I can see that a good business. If anybody wants to start an app with this hashtag, make money. Yes, and don't forget to give me my percentage. I would like to ask you, ultimately, do you think that sologamy is narcissistic by nature, or it's self-indulgent, or it's unhealthy? I think only you can answer. Your likes probably is what I want. Your likes may indicate that you perhaps like the subject, but you don't want to get involved because I'm sure if you want to get married, by all means. And most of the religions, almost all religions definitely want their people to get married, because if you don't get married and if there's a population decrease, then you know what can happen. Imagine if India today goes in for sologamy in a big way. Friends, you will hear by 2050 the population of India has come down to 70 crores. Yes, 70 crores from 150, or almost 200 crores then. How's that? Start thinking. This is Manish Golani signing off. Don't forget to watch my videos. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to also air in your views in the comment section. Please do that. It's a feedback. Bye-bye.